When you find yourself in a situation where both of you are doing no contact, it can feel like a silent battle of wills. The first thing to understand is that no contact is not about punishing the other person, nor is it about playing games to see who breaks first. The true purpose of no contact is space, space for clarity, space for emotions to settle, and space for attraction to breathe again. When emotions are running high, mistakes are made, words are said in the heat of the moment that shouldn't have been spoken, and actions are taken that only push the other person further away. No contact removes the chaos and replaces it with calm. It allows both people to step back, breathe, and begin to reflect on what really matters. If you're constantly chasing, texting, calling, or trying to fix things, you're not giving her the opportunity to miss you. Instead, you're reinforcing the idea that you're desperate and unable to handle yourself when things don't go your way. That kind of behavior kills attraction faster than anything else. No contact is the opposite of that energy. It's calm, it's patient, and it shows that you have the strength to walk away when you're not being treated the way you deserve. It communicates silently that you value yourself enough to give space instead of forcing connection. But here's the deeper truth: no contact is just as much for you as it is for her. It gives you the time to pull back from the emotional chaos, to stop obsessing about every detail, and to start regaining control over your own life. You begin to remember who you are outside of the relationship, the hobbies you enjoy, the goals you want to pursue, the lifestyle you want to create. This isn't about ignoring her, it's about reconnecting with yourself. And that's where the true power of no contact lies. When she sees that you're not chasing, not begging, not collapsing under the weight of the silence, it sends a strong message. It tells her that you are secure enough within yourself to handle distance and that you don't need constant reassurance from her to feel valuable. Most men lose this battle because they panic. They can't handle the uncertainty, so they reach out, break no contact, and instantly lose all the ground they've gained. That's the difference between a man who understands the purpose of no contact and one who doesn't. The one who understands knows that silence is not rejection. It's simply a space where emotions can recalibrate. It's not about proving who cares less, but about creating an environment where genuine desire can grow again. Every time you hold your ground, every day you stay disciplined, you're reinforcing a powerful message about yourself. You're showing that you have emotional strength, that you're capable of living your life fully whether she's there or not, and that you're not afraid of loss. That's magnetic. That's what makes her think, what if I'm losing him? What if he moves on? What if he never calls me again? And it's that uncertainty born from your strength that pulls her back. So when you think of no contact versus no contact, don't see it as a game where the loser is the one who speaks first. See it as a process where the winner is the one who grows, stays grounded, and refuses to compromise their self-respect. The silence isn't the enemy, it's the tool that allows you both to discover what really matters. And that's how you start to win the silent battle. The silent battle of no contact is often more about what's happening inside your own mind than what's happening between you and her. When both of you are holding back, the temptation to break the silence usually comes from fear. Fear that she's forgetting you, fear that she's moving on, or fear that the connection you once had is slipping away. That fear is what drives desperation, and desperation always kills attraction. The moment you let fear run the show, you're no longer in control, and the other person can sense it. Relationships are not built on fear, they're built on confidence, strength, and calm presence. This is why detaching from fear and desperation is absolutely essential if you want to win the silent battle. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring about her. It doesn't mean you close yourself off emotionally or pretend she doesn't matter. It means you stop letting the outcome control your state of mind. It means you recognize that no matter what happens, you will be okay because your value doesn't come from whether or not she chooses you. It comes from within. The moment you truly embrace this, you take back your power. Think about it like this: if you're constantly worrying about her silence, constantly checking your phone, constantly replaying old conversations in your head, then who's in control? She is. Even without saying a word, she's dominating your emotional world. That's not strength, and it's not attractive. On the other hand, when you detach from that outcome, when you can go through your day focused on your purpose, your work, your goals, your growth, suddenly the dynamic shifts. You're no longer reacting to her, you're leading yourself. That self-leadership is what makes you stand out. Women are deeply intuitive. They can sense when a man is calm and secure, and they can sense when a man is nervous and needy. Even in silence, your energy communicates more than words. If she feels you panicking, she loses respect. If she feels you calm, grounded, and unfazed, she starts to wonder what's going on in your world that makes you so steady. Curiosity builds, attraction builds. But it only happens if you've done the inner work of detaching from fear and desperation. Many men lose this battle by caving into their emotions too quickly. They tell themselves, if I just reach out, maybe she'll respond and everything will be okay. But that's not strength, that's fear dressed up as action. Reaching out from desperation only confirms to her that you're more invested in her than you are in yourself, and that's never attractive. The irony is that the less you chase, the more she feels the space and starts thinking about you. The more you detach, the more your silence speaks for you. Detachment also gives you clarity. When you're not obsessed with what she's thinking, you start to see things as they really are. You recognize your own patterns, your own mistakes, and your own areas for growth. You stop asking, why isn't she calling me, and start asking, what am I doing with my life that excites me? What am I building for myself? Who do I want to become? That shift in focus is magnetic because it shows her that you're not sitting around waiting. You're moving forward regardless of her. And ironically, that's when she's most likely to want to come back. Winning the silent battle isn't about proving who can hold out the longest. It's about who can remain calm, confident, and in control while the silence stretches on. When you detach from fear and desperation, you stop fighting against the silence and start using it to your advantage. You show her that your happiness doesn't depend on her response, and that's when she begins to feel drawn back into your world. And that's the kind of strength that always wins in no contact. When you're caught in the middle of no contact, it's easy to make the mistake of sitting still and doing nothing, waiting for the phone to light up or for her to finally reach out. That mindset puts your entire life on pause, and while it may feel like you're being patient, the truth is you're wasting valuable time and energy that could be invested in yourself. The silent battle isn't really about her at all, it's about who you become while the silence is happening. This is why shifting focus towards self improvement is one of the most powerful moves you can make. Instead of obsessing over the outcome, you start leveling up in ways that make you more attractive, more confident, and more fulfilled regardless of whether she comes back or not. Think about how many men lose themselves in relationships. They start strong, they have their own goals, their own friends, their own passions, but as time goes on, they make her the center of their world. Slowly, without realizing it, they neglect their fitness, their dreams, their hobbies, and even their social life, and all that energy gets poured into her. That imbalance not only drains you, it smothers attraction. Because at the end of the day, a woman doesn't want to be your only source of fulfillment. She wants to join a man who already has a full and exciting life. So when you're in no contact, this is your chance to realign with who you are outside of her. If you've been neglecting your health, hit the gym. Build a stronger body, not just for attraction, but for your own discipline and self-respect. If you've been putting off projects, career goals, or dreams, use this time to get back on track. If you stopped investing in your friendships or social life, reconnect with your people and surround yourself with positive energy. Every one of these moves communicates silently that you are not waiting, you are growing. What most men don't realize is that growth doesn't just benefit you, it changes how she perceives you as well. While she's sitting in silence wondering if you're waiting around for her, she starts to notice the changes in your energy when she finally sees you again. She sees that you look sharper, more confident, more focused. She hears about the things you're accomplishing. She feels that you're not clinging to the past, but moving forward with momentum. And in that contrast, she begins to feel that fear of loss, that thought that maybe she's the one being left behind. The silent battle is not won by sitting and waiting. It's won by becoming someone she has to think about every single day because your growth and your strength make it impossible to forget you. Self-improvement isn't a trick, it's a lifestyle shift. And the beauty of it is that even if she never comes back, you're still in a better place than where you started. You've used the silence as a catalyst for becoming stronger, wiser, and more fulfilled. That's what real winners in no contact understand. They don't just sit still hoping for her return. They get busy creating a life so full and so strong that whether she comes back or not, they've already won. And that's how self-improvement shifts the silent battle in your favor. The hardest part about no contact isn't the silence from her, it's the noise inside your own mind. When the phone doesn't ring, when no message pops up, your thoughts begin to spiral. You start asking yourself endless questions. Is she thinking about me? Is she moving on? Did I make a mistake by not reaching out? What if I lose her forever? That inner dialogue can become your biggest enemy if you don't learn how to control it. The real battle of no contact is not her silence. It's your ability to master your thoughts and emotions during that silence. Every time you let your mind run wild, you weaken your resolve. You feel the urge to break no contact just to relieve the discomfort. But that short-term relief comes at the cost of long-term attraction. Because the moment you cave, you're not just reaching out, you're proving to her and to yourself that you couldn't handle the pressure. And once you show that, you've lost the battle. This is why mastering your inner dialogue is critical. You have to take control of the stories you're telling yourself and replace panic with perspective. When your mind says, she's forgetting me, you need to counter with, silence is what creates space for her to miss me. When your mind says, moving on, you remind yourself, if she's truly meant for me, silence will only strengthen her curiosity. When your mind says, I need to reach out to feel secure, you remind yourself needing her validation only makes me weaker. Standing strong makes me magnetic. That shift in inner dialogue is what keeps you grounded instead of reactive. This is also where focusing on your mission and purpose becomes a weapon. If you're sitting around with nothing to do, of course your thoughts will spiral toward her. But when you fill your life with goals, projects, fitness, learning, and growth, You don't have the same mental space to obsess. Suddenly, your focus is on building yourself, not chasing her. The more you invest in yourself, the easier it becomes to quiet that anxious voice that wants you to break no contact. Understand this. The silent battle is designed to test you. It tests your patience, your self discipline, and your emotional control. And the only way to pass that test is by staying calm inside your own mind. You can't control what she's thinking or feeling. You can't control how long she'll stay silent, but you can control how you respond to your own thoughts. That's the key to winning. When she eventually reaches out, and in most cases, she's going to feel whether you've mastered yourself or whether you were simply waiting anxiously for her return. If you've been strong, confident, and grounded in the silence, she'll sense the shift in your energy immediately. She'll feel the difference in your tone and your calmness and in the way you're no longer rattled by her. And that contrast is what reignites attraction. But if you let your mind run wild and break no contact just to ease your anxiety, she won't respect you. She'll see you as weak, as someone who couldn't handle the silence, and attraction will fade even further. This is why winning the battle within is more important than anything happening outside. At the end of the day, no contact isn't about who speaks first, it's about who can stay composed the longest. The man who masters his inner dialogue and controls his emotions is the one who always comes out on top. And that's how you truly win the fight happening inside your own head. One of the biggest traps men fall into during no contact is letting their weakness take over. They convince themselves that breaking the silence just once won't matter. They rationalize sending a casual text or liking her picture on social media, thinking it will keep them in her mind. But every time you make that move, you're revealing a crack in your armor. You're telling her, without saying a word, that she still controls you. And when a woman feels that you can't hold yourself together without her validation, she loses respect. That's why recognizing the signs of weakness and avoiding them at all costs is one of the most important parts of winning the silent battle. Weakness shows itself in different ways. It could be reaching out under the disguise of something innocent, like, hey, just checking in, or I saw something today that reminded me of you. It could be scrolling through her social media, looking for signs of what she's up to, and torturing yourself with the thought of her moving on. It could even be bad habits, turning to drinking, overeating, or distractions to numb the discomfort of her silence. All of these behaviors come from the same root, an inability to handle the tension of no contact. The truth is, every time you give in to these impulses, you're losing ground. You're proving to yourself and to her that you don't have the emotional discipline to stay strong. On the flip side, strength is about patience and discipline. Strength is about embracing the silence instead of trying to escape it. It's about understanding that every day you hold your ground, you're increasing your value in her eyes, because here's the truth. If she's also doing no contact, she's feeling the pressure too. She's wondering when you'll break, when you'll cave in and come running back. Every day you don't do it, her respect for you grows even if she doesn't show it. She starts to feel the tension, the curiosity, the pull that only comes from a man who refuses to crumble under pressure. You have to remember that attraction is built on polarity. When you're calm and steady and she's uncertain and emotional, that dynamic works in your favor. But the second you chase, the polarity flips. You become emotional, she becomes in control, and the balance of attraction dies. This is why avoiding signs of weakness is not about playing games, it's about maintaining your power. It's about showing through your actions that you value yourself enough to stay strong, even when it's hard. The man who wins no contact isn't the one who lasts the longest out of stubbornness. It's the man who uses the time to strengthen himself while refusing to compromise his standards. When you stay disciplined, when you don't give in to the urge to check her page, to text her, to find some excuse to reconnect, you're proving that you can master yourself, and mastering yourself is the highest form of strength. When she finally does reach out, and trust me, silence rarely lasts forever, she'll feel that difference instantly. She'll notice that you weren't weak, that you didn't crumble, that you didn't need her to feel whole. And that realization reignites attraction in a way words never could. Because deep down, women respect men who don't fold under pressure. They respect men who hold their ground. So don't see no contact as a waiting game you need to survive. See it as a test you need to pass. Recognize the signs of weakness, avoid them, and use every moment of silence to build your strength. And that's how you keep yourself in the position of power during no contact. When you're caught in the silent battle of no contact versus no contact, the one thing that often separates those who come out stronger from those who crumble is how they handle their own growth during that time. Too many people see no contact as nothing more than a strategy to win someone back, but in reality, it's so much deeper than that. It's not just about waiting her out, it's about what you do with the space that silence creates. This is where self-improvement and emotional growth come into play, and if you use this time wisely, you won't just increase your chances of winning her respect, you'll actually transform into a better version of yourself whether she comes back or not. Think about it. If all you do during no contact is sit around, scroll through her social media, and replay old memories, you're not just wasting time, you're staying stuck. That silence, instead of being a space for you to grow, becomes a prison you build around yourself. But if you flip the perspective, If you see the space as a rare opportunity to focus fully on your own life, then the battle shifts in your favor. Because the man who invests in himself is always more attractive, more magnetic, and more powerful than the man who waits around hoping for attention. Self improvement doesn't have to mean huge dramatic changes all at once. It can start with simple, consistent steps. Work on your body because physical health translates into mental strength and confidence. Pick up a new hobby, dive into a passion, or focus on your career. When you start pouring energy into yourself, you stop feeling desperate for validation. You stop worrying about what she's doing because you're too busy creating a life that excites you. And here's the powerful truth: women feel that they sense when a man is living with purpose and direction. It's in the way he carries himself, in the calmness of his presence, in the quiet confidence of someone who knows his worth. But it's not just external improvement, it's emotional growth too. No contact brings up uncomfortable feelings, loneliness, doubt, fear of loss. Instead of running from them, use them to understand yourself better. Ask yourself why the silence bothers you so much. Is it because you tied too much of your identity to her? Is it because you never built enough of your own life outside the relationship? Facing these truths can be tough, but they're the doorway to real change. The man who can process his emotions, who can sit with discomfort without breaking, becomes unshackable. That kind of emotional strength is rare, and it's exactly what makes you stand out. And here's the twist: you're not just improving for her, you're improving for you. Because no matter what happens at the end of this silent battle, you win. If she comes back, she'll be coming back to a stronger, more grounded version of you, someone who she can admire and respect. And if she doesn't come back, you'll still be walking away with a new sense of power, with a life that's fuller and richer than before. That's why self improvement during no contact isn't optional. It's essential. The man who keeps sitting in silence, doing nothing, stays stuck in the same cycle. But the man who uses silence as fuel for his growth, who embraces both the outer and inner work, becomes the kind of man women don't want to lose. So don't let the silence break you. Let it shape you into the best version of yourself. And that's how you turn the silent battle into your ultimate victory.